Good morning, folks. Grazing Acres Farm. It's October 24th, 9 a.m. Getting ready to move the herd into some fresh grass. So, what I did, we're coming out of what we call our alley paddock, and it's a long, narrow paddock. And usually, I would bring them straight into here, and then they would go over into this pasture and graze. But earlier in the season, I learned it's way easier for me to take the cows from the alley, set up a little loop here with poly wire. They can come in, loop right around into that pasture. Once they graze that, then we come back into this pasture. And then it's a lot easier to get everybody out the gate all at once versus having everybody in there and having to get them around and back down through there. What usually happens is the first half of the herd makes it around here, and then they start to go up the alley. The cows here on the end, we'll see the cows across this little wooded area in the alley heading back that direction. So this tail end of the herd will start to move back into this pasture, and it's a big mess. So long story short, it's way easier to set up this poly wire and move them over there first. Been doing this 10 years this year, folks. Kind of an unreal feeling. Here's all the ladies waiting with their calves. Come on, girls! Got their head down, checking out the grass. This wire's not hot, so put a little motion on it just so they make sure they see it. They loop around, everything works out as planned. Comes the bull. He had a hard day at work yesterday. One of the girls was in heat. And that looks like we're about at the tail end here. Is that everybody? So here you can see what we call our alley. It's really long and narrow. Go on, girls. Come on. Had a pretty good season. We did have a small outbreak of pink eye midsummer, and that left some with some splotchy eyes, but for the most part, everything's real good. This is a bull calf here of mine. I'm in the process of debating, do I band him or do I sell him as a bull? He is full farrow. Really calm. And that's his mom right there, Millie. And the bull you just seen is his sire. Let's go, bud. Come on, girl. I've sure learned a lot about working with cows in 10 years, I'll tell you that. I just heard a ball back that way. Keep my ears open, see if I hear it again. We're sandwiched between two other cattle farmers, or beef farmers, so could be I heard a ball from another farm. There's the bull. PCC. So yeah, we're just doing a full pasture graze. I could have thrown up some poly wire and broke this pasture down. But at this stage in the game, there's not a whole lot of grass in here. Today I'll let them graze the pasture down. Tomorrow I'll bring them in a bale of hay, offer them that with the hay feeder so they're not bedding on it. And I'll probably leave them here for a couple days, maybe 3. The first day, no hay. The following 2, they will get a bale of hay offered to them. Now, of course, if they don't eat the first bale, they won't get the second bale, but experience thus far, I've learned the fescue, it doesn't really get desirable to them until it gets a good frost on it, and we've only had a couple good frost. So instead of forcing them to eat the fescue, I choose to offer them a bale of hay, and then whatever they want to graze, they can just go to it. For now, just to ease my conscience, I'm going to get back over here, hop on the 4-wheeler, and cruise back to the pasture before the alley, which they also had access to, called the upper cistern, and make sure there's no calves left over there. All right, so we are now in what is the upper cistern. I have not yet seen a calf. I've drove around the whole pasture, haven't heard any more bawling, so I assume the bawling was coming from our neighboring farm and everything is good, but I could be wrong. But either way, while I'm here, I need to drain their water tank and take it over to the cows. This particular tank has a small drain in the front, but it's taking forever to drain, so I put in these 2 ports, and that's made it drain a lot quicker. I got a bad habit of just grabbing a hold of it and flipping it over, and then I pay for it with my back. It's a really bad habit, folks. Even with these drains on there, sometimes I'll look at it and think, yeah, I could just flip it, be a lot quicker. We can get the cows moved and I can move on to my next project for the day. So trying to learn to tell myself, slow down, you'll feel better, you'll not hurt, you'll be able to do more. So we got the water draining. Make sure I stick the plugs in my pockets so I don't lose them. And then up here I've got a chain. And we just hook on the ball, and once it gets empty, we'll take off and head towards the cows. The double barrel, folks. That's what that is, double barrel. So they were in here for 3 days, and you can see there's still some decent grass in here. Look at this. It's just not palatable to them yet. It needs more frost on it. So, you know, like I said, I could force them to eat this and not offer them any hay, but in the long run, you're hurting them more than you're helping them. There's quite a bit of fescue in here, really. So they were in here, I think I said 3 days. They do have a hay feeder up there, which I see is about half full. I don't like that. But what I did notice is this is the pasture I started offering hay bales in a couple weeks ago. And there was actually still a pile in here when we came back a couple of days ago, and they devoured it. So I have to believe that they'll end up eating that when they come back, and it's not total waste. Try to prevent that though, that's for sure. Okay, so it looks like we're empty enough to take this to the cows. I'm gonna go ahead and put these plugs back in there. Yeah, I put one of the drains. This one is lower than that one, so there we go. That's ready to go. We can take this back to the cows. Hey, let's move this over to the cows.